Welcome back to Cobbled Chaos. So the chaos continues. I picked up these Plymouth coupes here, it's probably been about a year, and they've just kind of been sitting around. And so I decided to drag them in here and kind of go through and inventory my parts and my pieces, just kind of figure out which one I'm going to build. With them, I got a bigger set of doors. I could make one a 3-window coupe if I want. So I figured the rustier one of the two and the one that's in the worst shape, maybe someday down the road I'll do that. Because I only got 2 other doors and they need work and everything. So there's a frame. Yeah, as you can see, the shop is full. But yeah, this frame here, somebody's done Mustang 2 on it. And this was actually, I think this one was going to be a drag car or something, is what the guy was saying. There's no firewall, no floor. So it needs a lot of work. And then, yeah, I've got some more parts, all the fenders, and I got a bunch of stuff with these. And then this one I drug in. And just kind of, it's kind of, so for what one has, the other one doesn't, and vice versa. It's, this one, it's got all the glass ring in. It'd be kind of cool just to try and slam together and leave it patinaed and everything, but it's got a ton of rust in it, which they both, once you put a big motor and tranny and everything, all the floors need redone anyway. But this one, the whole back of it has been rotted off. There's no rear section under the back. Both fenders are rotted out, the inner fenders. So the other body, it's considerably better than this one, but this one's also got some added features that are, better than the other one. So I just kind of want to figure out what goes with what are the best parts, and just kind of sort through everything and see what I got and if I can actually make a decent car out of these or what to do with these things. But on top of the rest of the stuff, I don't really need any more projects to go, but I just kind of float around and do whatever. So I might do a little bit on these or sort them all out and then boot them back outside. I don't know. There's also I think it's Rat City Ruckus coming up in April, and I've kind of had a challenge, or a bet or whatever, that people telling me to whip one of these up, but I mean, that would be putting everything in my life on hold to try and get one of these driving by then. So I don't know, but I've done stuff like that before, so I like a challenge. So but yeah, we'll dig through all this stuff, see what we got, kind of mix and match, and hopefully we come up with enough stuff that gives us the inspiration to maybe start building one of these. So stay tuned for more. Well, we are sitting inside the Plymouth and just checking out little stuff here and there, and I don't know, that's still got, there's pedal there, still in it, or I'm assuming that's the push button starter right there, and it's still got the window crank, so the windshield in this thing folds out, so that's pretty cool. This, I really want to find the original gauge cluster or a more modern one that's got the gauges in there but the antique look, because that would be really cool. I do have the glove box doors. Yeah, there's 2 glove boxes in this thing. I'm assuming these are probably heater controls, or I'm not real sure what was in there. This is the cowl vent switch. That's still in there, and actually it's loose. I did move that up. Bird, nice big bird nest on the visor. So I'm going to get all that stuff cleaned out of these, and the frame for the other visor's there, whether I use it or duplicate it and make another one. Still has a little bit of the wood in the roof of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool car. There's some pretty cool features in these things, so I'm kind of excited because they're not Ford or Chevy. They're a little different, and I do prefer the Fords more, but I definitely am not going to complain about having to build one of these. So yeah, let's keep looking around this thing. And this one still has the original seats and everything in it. They're pretty cool. It's just kind of a wooden frame, and then the backs are actual individual. They'll tip forward, and you can get back here, and there's the package tray and a little divider for the trunk. When you look at these cars, when you kind of look at, they're bigger, and you'd think that you could have a back seat or something in there, but once everything's set up in here, there's definitely not room for a back seat. But for a cruising hot rod, I think they're way more roomy than a Model A, and I think you could do a long distance trip in something like this pretty comfortably. So there's a ton of leg room. And once I get the transmission and stuff in there, you know, they're a lot bigger than the old school ones were. So yeah, it's going to take up a little bit of the floor space. But yeah, here's the slider for the move the seat forward and back. So it's still, there's a lot of little trinkets that I want to keep in this, and I'm going to have to rebuild this frame, but I want to make it pretty much original, just kind of not a rat rod. I want a traditional kind of old school hot rod car. So I don't know, I'm not real sure how these are going to go. Yeah, there's some of these dimple dyed deals in the back here and this back panel that's kind of cool, but I like the kind of the ovaled windows in the back. That's kind of a little bit different. So this whole trunk, it's pretty well gone, but yeah, that's, you can see where that cover was on the back. So there's actually for chairs, cooler, you know, some camping gear or whatever. I mean, there's a ton of room in these things for, like I say, I think travel would be pretty comfortable. So yeah, the back of this one, the frame's all rotted off. So I like this frame better because it has a straight axle still in it, and somebody at one point had put disc brakes, and I don't know what this axle's out of, if it's to this car or not, but I just like that it didn't. I don't want really the Mustang 2. I know it'll ride better and everything, but I want to go a little more traditional. So I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'll kind of mix and match these frames, or I'm not real sure yet. I can fab that back half pretty easily. So but yeah, even just the old brake master cylinder pedal assembly, that's still there. These old oil friction shocks, then yeah, they're, somebody torched the ends of them off, but no, those are still on this. And the other frame has the little there's a little deal that plugs in here that the shackle bolts to for the leaf springs, and so the other frame's got those. Like I say, almost for what one's missing, the other has, but it's kind of like, no matter what you do, there's as much or more work on whichever one you pick out. So it's kind of, I don't know. We'll see what we get into on both of these once we really get digging into them. But yeah, there's the old BB gun. Probably some 8-year-old kid with his Red Ryder popping the back window out of this thing. So, but yeah, let's dig through some more stuff. So this other body, it's actually overall, it's in a lot better shape than the other one. And this whole back, I mean, the back half's all really nice. A little tiny bit of rust down at the very bottom line at the floor. It's got a trunk lid in it. All this rear apron is still there. I haven't even opened the trunk up this. Well, the parts are falling out. Yeah, I don't know if that'll stay up. I think it will. Kinda. So, yeah, we got there's a little bit of the trunk in this thing. But this one overall, when you look at the other one, where that package tray and everything is, like with this whole dimple, but the other one's all rusted out down here and everything. This one, of course, is missing the package tray, but again, the other one I got templates to make and kind of, I can redo all the stuff that's missing. But this one, all the inner fenders, looks like somebody's patched that in at one time, or no, maybe that's factory. Yeah, it looks like that's where the floor went from there and then was going down. But these inner fenders, they're all really nice. Yeah, I got definitely the lower rockers and all that junk, but yeah. And then I have a dash and everything for this car that's it's out. I think I do have the other windshield frame. I've got all the accessories that go up for the dash and everything. So but yeah, overall I think this is the body to use, because it's definitely way better than the other one. So, and then there's the doors. This one's got a little munch on the bottom, but it's got regulators. There's still glass in it and stuff. I think this one's got it. There's an outer door handle. So yeah, it's missing some of the stuff, and I think I have some of that I put up in my loft, so I'll have to dig through all that and dig it all out. I put it all away before the snow hit, and now I need to dig it all back out. So I don't know, we'll keep looking around. And here's a little goodie I've had stashed away for a while. This is a 331 Hemi, and it's been rebuilt, just kind of just the old, you know, hone the cylinders and new bearings and all that. It's nothing, no hot rod, no nothing, but just pretty much stone stock. It is connected to, if you can see under all my junk, there's a Saginaw 4-speed hooked to the back of it. And I don't know, I'm trying to decide whether I'd put something like this in there. I think these being Plymouths would be super cool with it, but I also want to drive these cars a lot. And you know, it's like, I hate doing a small block in them, but it's like, if I'm broke down somewhere, I can get any part I need pretty much from McDonald's. So I don't know, this is super cool to have in them. And maybe if I do like a 3-window conversion or something, maybe I'll put this in. I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think? I know, I mean, everybody loves Hemi, so yeah. And I know these things, they're built iron tough. I mean, they're pretty much like a big tractor engine, so if you don't mess with them too much and stuff, they're pretty reliable. But it's just, if I break down somewhere and need a distributor or something weird for this thing, it's definitely going to be an issue to get. So but yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think ought to go in these coupes. I'm looking at this frame, and well, it's got Pinto or Mustang 2 cross member in it. This is pretty old school. It looks like it was cut out of an actual car or whatever. Didn't do too bad of a job, but I mean, it's just kind of not really something I want to run. I kind of like these old cars with the straight axles, unless they came with IFS or something. But yeah, this, it still has, these are the little bumper deals, and then your shackle for the front leaf springs that go there. Kind of looks like somebody cut these off and then put them back on at some point. But yeah, and then so this goes along this, where they cut this off. That was the big cross member that crisscrossed and goes under the car for your driveline hoop and everything. They cut that off, and then they boxed this whole inner rail on, which is a good deal. And then here's a little transmission crossover, and I don't know if that was just holding the tail of their tranny in or what, but it did at one point have a roll cage. There's cage points on it, so it had a cage in it. And then looks like this was a 4-bar, well, cross member for a ladder bar type rear suspension on it. And then yeah, here's another towards the back, another hoop for the cage. And then, yeah, I believe these would have been coilover mounts for this. So, I mean, somebody was setting it up to do something, whether it's the right way or not, you know, but it's what they were doing. And I mean, this frame was probably built, you know, 20, 30 years ago or more. So, I don't know if I'm going to use this frame, though. It's just, like I said, I kind of want to go back to a little more original, but also once I fit the motor and tranny in, the other frame may end up having to get the whole center cross members cut out and everything, so I may end up basically back like this. But I definitely don't want to use this Mustang 2 or Pinto stuff in the front. So yeah, we'll kind of see what happens with that. Well, that's just kind of a quick walk around on these cars. I think tomorrow I'm going to just blow all the pine needles out. They should be thawed out. They were out in the snow and everything today, so they're starting to dry out and stuff. But blow all the pine needles, get the bird nests out of them and everything, and just kind of get them cleaned up, and then just start kind of maybe setting pieces in and just seeing what's what I'm missing, and what I need to pick up to start these projects. But I say I don't know when I'm going to start these, but I just kind of want to inventory and get an idea, so you know, if I decide to do it, I know where I'm starting from. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Your guys' comments, everything have been awesome. I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys do too. So we're going to keep going, so stay tuned.